Hello there, Hector Davil here. In this particular video, we are going to address which currency pair, or we are going to list which currency pairs we can trade if using the intraday market flow system. All right. Actually, I shouldn't say which currency pairs can we trade, but rather which currency pairs should we trade. And in a minute, you will see why you want to leave some specific currency pairs out of your trading list. So what do we get by comparing the spread cost with the average daily range? Well, what we get is how efficient or how proportionately expensive that currency pair is to be traded from an intraday point of view. Now, let me try to explain what I mean. Imagine one hypothetical currency pair had a spread cost of just 1 pip to enter the trade, whereas the average daily range was 10,000 pips. Obviously, there is no particular currency pair with an average daily range anywhere near of 10,000 pips. All right. Again, the average daily range measures how many pips from a statistical point of view any particular currency pair moves within the trading session. Again, no currency moves anywhere near 10,000 pips. But again, this is just a hypothetical case to drive the point home. If you were to trade that currency pair which only costs you 1 pip to enter the trade, and potentially you can make 10,000 pips every single day, right? Since, well, it moves on average 10,000 pips. So on hypothetically or potentially you could make 10,000 pips every day, trading that currency pair. Do you reckon 1 pip of commission cost is expensive or is rather reasonable? Well, it's obviously very cheap. Okay, that currency pair would be extraordinarily cheap because you just need to pay 1 pip in order to make potentially up to 10,000. Now let's flip that around. Let's imagine there is a currency pair with a spread cost of 20 pips and an average daily range of 60 pips. Okay, that means that the maximum potential profit we can get on any given day is 60 pips, and just to click on the entry button, okay, on the buy or sell button, we need to pay 20 pips. All right, so basically we need to pay 33% of the entire potential maximum profit we can make out of that trade goes, again, exclusively just to pay the spread commission cost. Obviously, we don't need to be any type of genius to realize that that's extraordinarily expensive, and therefore that currency pair would be rather inefficient, okay, a rather inefficient instrument as to trade from an intraday point of view. We just cannot pay 20 pips in order to make 60. Again, it's just too expensive. So, well, that's what the 5% rule actually is for, in order to determine what currency pair or which currency pair is efficient or is, let's say, doable from an intraday trading point of view, and which one is just out of it's out of our hand because it's just not cost efficient. All right, any currency pair with a spread versus average daily range ratio above 5% is a no-go. It's too expensive. You cannot pay more than 5% of the spread cost as per the average daily range. Again, from an intraday point of view, all right? As an intraday trader, you should not pay more than 5%. Obviously, that depends on your broker, on whatever broker you trade through. All right. Every different broker has different spread commission structures, and you will find, again, different commissions for different currency pairs depending on what broker you decide to trade through. I cannot possibly review all the different forex brokers here, so you will have to do your own research as far as which forex broker gives you an acceptable or reasonable spread cost for your trades. But again, we are going to be using the 5% rule in order to determine which currency pairs can be traded from an intraday point of view and which ones are to be left outside. Now, just so you don't go about manually calculating the spread versus average daily range ratio, I'm going to provide you with a custom indicator that's been coded for me by my, professional programmer. You can find the link of this indicator. It's called the ATR projection. All right, and again, you can find the link right under this video. All right, just download it into your MetaTrader 4 platform and attach it into any forex chart. Once you attach it into a chart, it will tell you the average true range or average daily range. Again, is exactly the same thing. For this particular currency pair, the American dollar against the Japanese yen is 125 pips. Obviously, as more market volatility changes in the market, the average daily range obviously also changes, since it's nothing but a statistical average. But at least as of right now, the average daily range for this particular currency pair is 125 pips. The spread cost on this currency pair for this broker that I am using right now is 3.5 pips, and therefore the spread versus average daily range ratio is 2.8%. Obviously, 2.8% is less than 5%. All right, and therefore we are okay to search for intraday trades on this currency pair. This currency pair goes into our intraday trading list. And well, now you know what to do. Simply open a chart for every single currency pair that your forex broker offers. Apply this indicator into each of those charts and simply keep on the tradable list, all right, on the currency pairs to trade list, those currency pairs where the spread versus average daily range is again below 5%. Do not trade anything above 5%, guys. That's just too expensive. It's not efficient enough from an intraday point of view. All right, I've made a list here with, some currency pairs that you want to pay special attention to, or that at least you want to apply that ATR projection indicators on your own charts in order to verify whether your broker, fulfills the 5% rule on these different currency pairs. Okay, euro against American dollar, sterling pound against American dollar against the Swiss franc, American dollar against the Japanese yen, etc., etc. I'm not going to read them out. You may want to pause the video and simply write them down on a piece of paper. Now, as you can see, there are a few of them that I've marked with an exclamation mark. Right, the New Zealand dollar against the American dollar should be okay on most brokers, but on the euro against the Canadian dollar, sterling pound against the Canadian dollar, and the euro against the New Zealand dollar, do not be surprised if your broker doesn't quite fulfill that 5% rule on those three currency pairs. But all the rest, on the majority of the brokers that I've checked, all the rest should be okay, and indeed the spread versus average daily range ratio should fall below that 5% limit. Okay? If it doesn't, if your broker doesn't quite satisfy or fulfill that 5% rule in most of those currency pairs, excluding these three, that means that you need to shop around for a new broker. All right, that means that the spreads offered by that particular broker are just too expensive. And hey, at the end of the day, you are the customer here. All right, it is your right to search for better trading conditions. So if you see that you cannot, that you need to start ticking out some particular currency pairs out of your trading list, don't settle for that. I mean, there are plenty. There are dozens, literally dozens of forex brokers out there. So just shop around. All right, shop around until you find one offering cheap enough spread costs. Obviously, is way beyond the scope of this video to analyze every single broker out there, which ones offers a cheap spread cost for this or that currency pair. I'm sorry, but I just that would take me like 2 hours on this video to just go through all of them. So I'm just gonna leave that bit to your own research. All right, but again, it shouldn't take long for you to find a broker with acceptable spreads. All right. Okay, now that's all for this video. Now you know which currency pairs we are gonna try the intraday market flow system on. All right, all those currency pairs fulfilling the 5% rule, and those are the ones that we are gonna be focusing on from now on. I'll be waiting for you at the next video. Thanks.